Welcome to my movie. Welcome to my bedroom. Last year I saw a movie it was part of Joel's, the whole thing, the Oscars movie challenge thing. I saw a movie called I Used to Drum, and is made by a guy named Daniel, or Daniel the Human. That's his YouTube handle. And I felt so inspired by it that I said to myself, next year I'm going to make a sequel to this movie. I'm going to make a sequel to his movie called I Used to Drum 2. And now we're here. Once I came up with that title, I was kind of like, well, I got to do it. I got to do it now. It's such a good title. And I have not even asked him yet if he will allow me to take his title. But I feel like he seems like a pretty chill guy. I think he's gonna be perfectly okay with it. I'm a little nervous to do this as well. I mean, I'm working with. This is actually right here. This is a fairly new camera. I've just used it for one video so far before this, so I'm not that familiar with it. And also, I'm using this lav mic for the first time. I bought this lav mic for a completely different project that I never ended up doing. That was like, maybe like 6-7 months ago now. I'm just kind of hoping that the gear that I have will do a good job. There's also that ring light over there. That's the only kind of lighting that I have aside from the artificial light in the room. So, I mean, Daniel had a way. That guy seems to be. Daniel is very talented. You should go watch his movie because it just looks amazing. And he's such a likable dude. He's very vulnerable in it, and that's what inspired me. Very talented dude. And if you're watching this, Daniel, thank you for inspiring this movie. I hope you don't mind that I am doing a sequel to your movie. So Daniel, when he did his movie, he kind of introduced it as a talking movie, and that is exactly what I'm going to do as well. This is just going to be a talking movie. I think I'm going to be talking about the drums. I will be playing the drums for you a little bit. I'll be talking a bit about creativity. And also, I think I want to take a good chunk of this movie just to do like a year in review, in a way. I'm just going to talk about my year in 2023. And because why not, I want to like reflect on my own life and also give you a look into how I think. Really what I like to do with movies, or I do stuff on this YouTube channel. I mostly do reviews of movies and games and whatever. But really what I'm trying to do on this YouTube channel is just share my perspective with the world. And that is what I plan on doing tonight with my movie. And let's see how this goes. I mean, I got a headache today, I got a toothache, and I've also got a little bit of a fever. I've been kind of sick these past like 3 or 4 days. And so the Oscars happening today is not exactly ideal for making this movie. But I'm going to give it my all, I mean, my physical body is not feeling great. But I feel like my spirits, my energy levels are pretty okay. So we're just going to go with that. And for whatever reason, I feel so compelled. I feel like I just have to do this. You know what I mean? I think maybe some of you who are watching this who have also made movies kind of have the same feeling of like, I gotta do this. I gotta take this opportunity. So it is what it is. Maybe this movie will be, it's probably not going to be anything special. I just want to contribute something to this festival that I love dearly. And that's it, Let's get this movie started. Okay, so we're going to move forward now. Now we're going to do just a little apartment tour. Why not? you get to learn a little bit about me and where I live. So this is what it looks like when you come in. Here is my bench that I've actually had this bench, well, not for that long, but actually this is a bench that was in my family home growing up. And it's a very good bench. I like it. It is where I put my jacket down when I get home. And actually this is my drumstick bag for when I go. I just keep it here because once a week I go, I play in a local band. So yeah, that's my drumsticks. Over here is the main room, living room. I'll let you have a better look. This is Gideon. This is my cat Gideon. He's just having a nap on the chair. Beautiful boy. I'm sure you will see a little bit more of him throughout this movie. But yeah, this is what it looks like. All his furniture is pretty much has a lot of history, honestly, in this room. This couch was my grandparents'. I inherited it from them. And actually, I've been meaning to get a new one because as you can see here, there's like some cotton coming out, and over here, same thing. So I feel like I've kind of worn it into the ground a little bit. I probably will keep it a little bit longer, but I've been meaning to go replace it. All these tables, like these coffee tables and stuff, this used to be my brother's. This chair was also in the family home. Over here we have my electronic kit, where I do most of my drumming. Or at least my drum practice. Sometimes I will record stuff from this kit. And this is the one that you will probably see me playing on a little bit later. But yeah, that's my kind of my piece de résistance, as you might say. And then also I have my acoustic kit here, just sadly tucked away in a corner. I pretty much only get to play this thing once or twice a year, pretty much. Whenever my band plays a live show, I can break it out and bring it to the venue, which is sad. It's unfortunate. But what I will say is that this drum set is the same drum set I've owned since I was a teenager. I've never owned another drum set, and I'm very pleased with it. I've done a lot of work on it to not really. But what I'm trying to say is I do treat the drums and I make them sound how I like them to sound. Even though it is a very old kit, I've found ways to make it sound like me, if you know what I mean. So anyway, this is a living room. TV is always good to look at. Nintendo Switch. Always important to show the Nintendo Switch in any household. All sorts of video games. PS4. Never quite graduated to the PS5. Okay, moving along. Here we are I'm going to turn on this light actually. This is actually my office. I work from home now. I've been working from home pretty much since all the lockdowns were happening, and they never really asked me to come back. I feel very lucky that I still get to just hang out here and just hang out with my cat, do my work. It's honestly a dream. It's a dream to be able to work from home. So my kitchen is very nice. I've lived in this apartment for about almost 12 years. And the people who lived here before me did a really great job. I didn't have to change anything about it. And even if it wasn't this nice, I don't have an eye for renovation or anything. This sink is amazing. Honestly, I don't think I could ever go back to a sink with like a divider. Because this is just like so much better. Especially if you got a cat. This sink makes an excellent cat bath. Over here we got bathroom, which is, nice as well. The people who lived here, again, did an excellent job. I cleaned this up earlier today. It would not be this clean if I was not making a movie. So, even if this movie does not work out, if I don't end up posting a movie, at least it motivated me to clean my bathroom. And also, you've already seen this, but this is my bedroom. I love this little bedroom. I'm going to show you my little, I made this little lamp for myself. It's a nice night light, I would say. And also, I will show you very quickly, this is a little piece that my friend Mike McPhee did. And I'm very grateful for him. He's a very talented guy. and he gave me this very beautiful piece to put up on my bedroom wall. And that's the apartment tour. Thank you for coming. I will show you finally this last piece over here. This is a painting by Rene Magritte. I like it. It's trippy. So the movie is called I Used to Drum 2, but actually I still play the drums. The title is just because I thought it was clever. And this is also the part where I insert the obligatory Mitch Hedberg joke, where I say, I used to drum, I still do, but I used to too. Yeah, I still play the drums, and I'm going to talk about drumming for a little bit right now. In this past year, I've mostly been trying to learn how to play punk. Punk drumming is tough. It's deceptively tough. You know, if you hear punk music, it kind of sounds fairly simple. I mean, it sounds fast. Obviously, you need a lot of endurance for it, but punk is known to be a kind of a genre for anyone. You don't really need to know how to play your instruments, but I think that's kind of a myth. Punk is actually quite complicated, and in this past year, in my attempt to learn how to play punk drums, I have just been kind of learning songs that I grew up with, stuff like that. Don't quote me on this. I am not going to fact check this right now. But I had heard that Travis Barker, something he said was that the way that he learned how to play drums was he just decided that I'm gonna learn the entire Metallica album. He's gonna learn. He learned Master of Puppets from front to back. And I was remembering that, and I said, well, maybe I'll just do the same thing. And that's what I've been doing. I haven't been learning albums front to back, but what I have been doing is I've been practicing some old favorites. So I've been learning songs from a Green Day album called Nimrod. I've been playing, there's this band called Algernon Cadwallader that I really like. I've been playing a bunch of their songs. There's also this band called Glue that I really like, and they put out this album. I think it's basically a self-titled album, and I've been learning some of the songs on that. I would say that as a drummer, I'm not, actually not just as a drummer, but just as an artist, I'm not particularly inclined towards the technical aspects of music or art, really. And so the way I play the drums, for me, it's really just about the groove. I've never really I took lessons as a kid. I took lessons for like maybe a couple months as a kid, But other than that, I'm just trying to I'm a rock drummer, more or less. I like to think that I can play in the pocket, and I'm fairly proud of the way that I approach the instrument, or I'm happy with it. I feel like I have found my own style that works for me, and really, over the years, it's just been a process of honing those skills and, getting better and better as it goes. I would say that the drums are my main instrument. I do play some other instruments, but the drums are my main thing. I don't know what else to say about it, to be honest. I'm going to leave it there for now. Maybe we'll talk about the drums a little bit more later in the movie. So one of my favorite memories of last year was painting an old skateboard that I've had around since I was a teenager. It's in here. I'm going to give you a look at it. This is kind of what it's... Hold on a second. This is kind of what it ended up looking like. It used to be a blank board. that I had written a whole bunch of stuff on, which is why I wanted to paint it, honestly. I mean, the reason this was such a beautiful night for me is because it's locked into my memory. I don't know, it was a moment of inspiration, maybe a little bit of like synchronicity of sorts. But basically, I had this old skateboard around. I have a new board now that I use when I'm skateboarding, but this old one, I've always kept it around. I'm going to show you some pictures now of what that old board looked like, because I took some pictures from that night, and you'll kind of see what it looked like. I had to take apart the whole board, and I had to I put down a cardboard box. I put like a pizza box here so I could paint, and I was really here for like 2 hours, and I turned on this movie. I'm playing it actually right now, this movie, 50/50. I'm sure some of you know this one. And I think that kind of had an impact on the kind of night I was having. It was a bit of a nostalgia fest too. Old skateboard, old movie that I grew up with that I hadn't seen in years, I think why it was so special to me in hindsight, I mean, for one thing, it was just a really nice way to spend the evening, Well, I'm going to turn this camera around. It was like a really special way for me to spend an evening, just kind of exploring my past a little bit, right? But what I will say about this old board is that when I was in high school, I took a Sharpie to the bottom of the board basically, and I wrote all sorts of different stuff there, like a lot of references to pop culture and a lot of emo shit, and I remember going out, maybe this was like a couple years ago when I just got back into skateboarding. This was the first board that I took out, and I remember feeling kind of like embarrassed that it had all these old things, and not to say I think it is pretty cool that I marked it up as a kid, but I just felt that I had outgrown it, you know what I mean? And that's why I bought a new board. And anyway, by painting this board, I sort of felt like I was rewriting my own history in a way, or kind of taking something I didn't like anymore from my past and making it into something new. And that is really, I feel like that's the lesson I kind of learned that night by doing this activity. I took this old board that I kind of just feel like it didn't represent me anymore, and I turned it into this, and it just was like a 2-hour, 3-hour project. It was one of the most peaceful nights I had last year, I know it doesn't look like much, it isn't a very good paint job, but to me, I think it's perfect. I friggin' love what I've done to this board. And I've actually been thinking since then that maybe I will revisit this. I might revisit this, let's say maybe like 5-10 years from now, and maybe add something to it, I think that would be kind of cool. And it could be like a lifelong thing. We all have things from our past that we regret. And unfortunately, I mean, the truth is you can't really change a lot of that stuff, right? But I think you can make something good out of it. You can make something new from something that's, dark. And that is essentially what I did here with this skateboard. I mean, I know I'm kind of making it a bigger deal than it probably is, but that's what it meant to me, and that's why that was such a special night last year. So here we are outside. Sometimes I like to walk around in my neighborhood. That's really the reason I brought you out here. It's winter right now where I live. I live in Toronto. We've had a very mild winter this year, but tonight it's colder, which is nice for me at least. It probably means there's going to be less people. There's just a person behind me just now. I feel uncomfortable filming in public, but I'm just going to do it. It's not going to kill me. But the reason I brought you out here is really because of all these nice, pretty houses. It's something I really like living in this neighborhood. I mean, I live in an old building, just in a small apartment, really. And well, you saw it is a nice apartment. I shouldn't downplay it. But you know, what I like about walking around is it kind of allows me to dream. You know. Usually, I will see a house that looks something like this or like this, and I will think to myself, you know, there's just absolutely no way I'm going to be able to afford that in my future. But sometimes when I'm out walking, it motivates me a little bit, and it allows me to dream a little bit bigger. And, you know, it motivates me. It makes me think like maybe I should focus a little bit more. Maybe I should, you know, I shouldn't just think of this kind of stuff as unrealistic for me. Somebody left a toilet out. That's nice. You know, you would think that, you know, this day and age, you see people holding cameras and talking to themselves all the time, pretty much. And what I'm doing here is like, just kind of perfectly normal. But it doesn't matter. I still feel weird about it, you know. But yeah, what I was saying is, you know, coming out here, it makes me realize that I have very normal, traditional dreams, just like anybody else, you know. I just want to live in a nice home with a nice family, basically. And I like coming out here. That's something I've been doing a lot. Just nightly walks or daily walks. Helps the soul, I think. And makes me feel like, you know, I can dream bigger. You know, it makes me think that it is possible. Maybe I will end up with a nice house someday and a nice family. Anyway, that's pretty much the only reason I brought you out here, just to kind of share this part of my life with you a little bit. Makes me think I gotta get, you know, my financial goals for the year in order. Maybe ask for a raise at my job, stuff like that. Hopefully this segment will work. Hopefully the sound is okay. Outdoors, you never know. But this camera looks great. Sometimes, you know, these iPhones, I sort of feel like they look better than my own friggin' eyesight. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm gonna head back now, so... Oh, there's a cat. You can probably see the cat in the distance. But yeah, I'm gonna start heading back, and I will talk to you again when I'm back inside. We are recording. Good. I'm getting a little bit tired now, honestly. But I do want to talk about one more thing from last year, 2023. Last highlight I'll be talking about. So I'm a single guy. Oh, hello, Gideon. Hello. I'm a single guy. I live alone. That is, you know, it is what it is. I'm not complaining. And but anyway, the reason I mention that is because I took 2 solo road trips this past year. Oh my gosh. Take a seat, buddy. Oh, you just gonna go over there? That's fine too. So yeah, I got a car. This is now a couple of years ago. I got a car, which for those of you who are younger, who don't have cars, or even people who do have cars, something that happens when you get a car. Your world kind of opens up a little bit. And I decided this, you know, I'm gonna take advantage of that. I don't really like driving, but I gotta do something with my life. I wanted to go on these road trips. And I'm also somebody who doesn't really like living in Toronto all that much. I'm not a city kid. I don't mind it here. I would say I have actually, the way I'd put it is I have sort of a love and hate relationship with this city. There's a lot about it that I love, and then there's also a lot about it that I wish I could get away from. And that is kind of why I live uptown, actually. I don't live in the heart of the city. I live just far enough away that I can take a little bit of a retreat, and then 2-3 times a week, go visit my friends downtown. That's how I like it. It's a good lifestyle for me. But anyway, I digress. I took 2 little road trips for myself, and I'm someone who's really drawn to small towns. I feel like in the future, maybe I would like to move to a small town permanently, or at least, maybe for 10 years or something like that, just to experience it. It's hard to, like, the reason I would stay here, and the reason that this is more of just a dream anyway, is that all of my family and friends live here, and that's more important to me than where I live, especially now with my parents getting older. I want to be around in their lives. I hate this is something I hate to talk about, but the truth is, it's like, if I'm lucky, I've got another 20 years with them, and so I want to be around for that. It's more important that I'm here. But if I'm still single when I'm like 50, 60 years old, and I got nothing else to lose, maybe I will finally just move somewhere nearby, somewhere not too... Oh, do not touch the camera, please. Get in. Come down from there, please. Thank you very much. I love you. I would probably just move to a small town, because that's kind of what I dream of. It seems like for whatever reason, I just feel drawn to small towns and stuff. So anyway, last year I went to 2 different locations. The first town I went to is called Allora. Allora is kind of this small town that's about an hour away from here. And, I had heard about it through he's more of an acquaintance, not someone I really knew very well, but someone who grew up there talked to me about Allora once, and that kind of piqued my interest. So I decided to go there. I just went there for one night, and it was a very, very nice little town, very beautiful. They really just have the one main street, and then just residential area around it. And they have what's called the Allora Gorge, which is basically just this gorge. You can actually go down there, hang out in the gorge. They have a lot of nature there. It's just very beautiful. I'm going to show you some footage. I took some footage from when I was there, so I'm going to show you. But maybe I didn't make this entirely clear, but part of the reason that I'm going on these road trips is just to determine if I do want to move someday, where would I like to go? So I went to Allora thinking, like, this could potentially be a spot that I'd like to live. And, the conclusion I came to about that is that Allora is very nice, but it's really not a place to live. It's very much a touristy town, I would say. It's very kitschy. And so I would not want to move there. It's very nice to go there for a weekend. Or I think that's kind of their main industry is tourism, because I think people just go there for the weekend just like I did. But basically, I discovered not the kind of place I would live, but a beautiful place to go. It was also just great to get out of the city for a little bit and, have that experience. I haven't had a lot of that, especially I haven't had a lot of that like solo traveling kind of thing. The second location that I went to is Collingwood. Collingwood this is not my first time going there. I actually did a solo trip to Collingwood about 4 years ago, but that was before I had my car, so I just took the Go bus. I also stayed there. Actually, that time I stayed there for 2 nights, and I wanted to go back because the first time I went there, it really did feel like home to me. If I could, so far in terms of my travels, if I'm gonna move, I would move to Collingwood because for some reason I just really like it there. So I wanted to go back this year to kind of confirm that I do really like it. You know, like I feel like I would have to go there at least a few times to kind of get a feel of like, was it just that I had a really good weekend, or is this a real place to live? You know, and in particular, something I will share is that first weekend that I went there, you know, 4 years ago, I also happened to meet a woman that I ended up developing some pretty strong feelings for. And, you know, that did not go anywhere, you know, such is life. But my thinking was, did that experience of meeting somebody and sort of falling for somebody over this one weekend, having this little magical experience, did that color that entire trip, if you know what I mean? Like, did I really like Collingwood that much? Or was it just that I met somebody? You know what I mean? And so I felt like I got to go back there just to see if I actually really love the town. And what I would say, having gone there again, I really, really love Collingwood. I can see myself going back there. I think I will go back there again this year at some point. You know, I wanna, you know, spend some real time there. This past year when I went in the middle of fall. It was close to Halloween, and for me that's like best time of year. And I would say Collingwood is like a very beautiful fall location. I had a great time. Again, I just stayed one night and drove back. But you know, I just really like it there, and I really could see myself moving there. There's something about it. The properties are beautiful. The lots that people have are fairly big. There's also some smaller, you know, bungalow-style houses that I think that are very, very appealing to me. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm blanking on what else I should say about Collingwood, but it's a nice place for me. You know what I mean? And I'm thankful I did it. The one thing that I would say about Collingwood that kind of turns me off a bit, it is a very sheltered town. All right, that's how I would describe it. Like living in a city, I'm exposed to a lot all at once. There's a bit of a cognitive dissonance thing going on when I talk about this, because in some ways I think living in a city and being exposed to everything is good for you, but it's also something I do not like. Okay? And a place like Collingwood, I would say is kind of sheltered, and I would say that's probably not good for you, but it's also kind of what I want right now. When I go there, I just notice that the locals are kind of like, it seems like they live in this kind of dream world a little bit. And maybe that's like what I find appealing, but whatever, I'm going back there. I'm not deciding yet if that's where I would like to live in the future, but I'm going to go back there and maybe go for a longer period of time and go at different times of the year or something. I also think about going to Kitchener. I want to go to Kitchener at some point to check out what it's like there. My brother recommended I go to Barrie and see what that's like, because I told him about this once and he was saying like he thinks it's kind of a cool idea, that I'd like to move away from the city. So he suggested Barrie. I think I might check that out at some point. But yeah, nothing else really to say about that. I had a really good time in both those places. You know, maybe I will leave this off by just encouraging you to travel on your own. There's something different about it. I've traveled with family a lot in the past, and as lovely as that is, when you travel on your own, there's just like no obligations to anyone other than yourself, and it's kind of a beautiful thing, I think. Or at least it works for me. I think it works for my personality very well. Sometimes I've told people about this. I've told people that I travel alone, and I think they get the impression that, or I think that they kind of have this perception that it's a very sad thing because I'm still single at my age and I'm traveling by myself to places. I think some people think of it as a sad thing, but to me, it's just not sad at all. It's something I get excited for, something I look forward to. And I think definitely this year I'm gonna go to at least a couple more places. You know what I mean? You gotta live your life while you have it. You know, for a lot of this, I feel like I've been talking a lot faster than I normally do. And I think what I've heard is that sometimes when people get nervous, they talk fast. And I think I've just become aware of that. But we're now nearing the end of the movie, so I can't really do anything about it. I'm also kind of running out of things to talk about a little bit. Hold on, I just want to check if I'm recording this properly. Yes, I am. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to shout out some Spotify playlists that I made. I know that they're just Spotify playlists. Everybody's got them. And you probably maybe are not that interested in listening to anybody's playlists that are not your own. That's how I am most of the time. But whatever, like I said, this movie, I'm trying to just share my life with you. And since I'm talking about 2023, I did make 4 different playlists last year, and it just so happened that they kind of, aligned with the 4 quarters of the year. So I'm going to put those in the description below. And, like I also got this one that I'm working on now. I'll probably put this one in. This is the one that I've been working on since the beginning of this year. But just to give you a sense of like my music taste, I have some Billy Woods here, some Young Lean. We got a classic, Drinking in LA by Brand Van 3000. Cheek Face, Title Fight, Monine, some classic emo stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Lots of good stuff. Stuff that I love, And anyway, check it out. Feel free. Maybe you'll find something that you like. And if not, that's cool too. So, we have reached the end of the movie. I'm going to take this lav mic and hold it in my hand. I feel kind of cool because I could do that now. Hopefully it doesn't affect the sound too much. But I thought, to end this movie in some way, I don't really know what I'm about the words that are going to come out of my mouth right now. But I basically want to say that I'm grateful to be able to make this movie and to be part of this little festival that Joel has organized for all of us. This is now my 3rd movie. If all goes well, if all this footage works out, if the audio works out okay, I should be posting a movie within the week. I want to also shout out Daniel the Human once again for making his excellent movie last year. Go check it out. I Used to Drum. That's what it's called. You should know this by now. And yeah, just to be real. I mean, I've been real the whole time, but just to be very real about this, I think it's such a beautiful thing. Because I watch your guys' movies, those of you who make the movies. Each year I watch about like 15 or 20 movies, from people, just whatever strikes my fancy, whatever's got a cool title or a cool thumbnail, right? And I end up really liking all of them. And I'm just very grateful to be kind of a part of this community. And I think it's a very beautiful thing that we kind of just, there's a bunch of us that kind of get together once a year to make movies for each other. And I think that is incredible. And I feel so very lucky and very blessed to be a part of that. So thank you, Joel, if you're watching this. Thank you, any of you who have decided to take the time to watch this. If you're here at the end, you're one of the good ones. And that is the movie. I love you all. Thank you for watching my movie. Please be well out there. Be kind to each other. Love each other. And good night.